Alright, guys, Mr. D here. We're continuing our lesson on basic music theory. Those are the things that you should know, and if you don't know, you should learn and you really should know. Before we do that, I just wanted to ask you if you knew what kind of prize did the knock knock jokes get recently. If you haven't heard about it, I'll tell you, they got the Nobel Prize. So, it's time to continue with articulation. A quick review. We already went over the meter, the different meters. The top number tells you how many, the bottom tells you what kind. We went over the signs, which are the clefs, the time signature, the staff, measure bar, double bar. Those are all things that you absolutely must know. The note lengths, you should be able to recognize quarter, eighth, half notes, whole notes, 16 notes. Same thing with the rests. And then we talked about the dynamics: pianissimo, super soft, piano soft, mezzo piano, medium soft, mezzo forte, medium loud, forte loud, fortissimo very loud, crescendo increasing in loudness, diminuendo or decrescendo decreasing in loudness. Forzando is with force, fortepiano is loud and suddenly soft. And now for this lesson we are going to articulation. Articulation refers to the various small markings such staccato dots, tenuto lines, and slurs that mainly affect the precise length of the notes. Words like legato are sometimes used instead or as well as the markings. So see, the articulation is like the diction in our speech. That is what makes the difference between a T and a S or a D, and things like that. So articulation is really important. String players have the wonderful ability to create many different types of articulation with our bows, and we are very lucky to be able to do that. In any case, let's hear a little example of this. I don't know, but on Monday I needed to hear exactly that. So let's talk about the staccato. The staccato are the notes that are the short, detached notes. So you hear them very well. Pop, 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 pop. And the legato, as a difference, smooth and connected this is. Actually, there is one more thing that you should know, is that the string instruments are capable of producing a very long note. When you think about it, a singer has to interrupt to take a breath before they can sing the next note. A piano player may use the sustain pedal, but if they hit a chord or a note, after a while it dies away. Same thing with wind instruments. They have to breathe in order to play the next note. But we as string instruments, we are so lucky that we can sustain a note almost indefinitely, if you think about that. So that's pretty amazing. I can go for a little bit of Chopin. By the way, if you haven't heard about Chopin, this composer, he wrote mainly for piano, and his pieces are just fabulous. Anyway, now we're going to a slur. A slur are the curved notes that makes you play them smoothly, or for our string instruments, you play them on the same bow. It can be as little as 2 notes, but it can be lots of notes. I think Mr. D can play somewhere between 130, 150 notes on a single bow, if I'm not trying really. So yeah, tenuto. Tenuto is shown by a horizontal line over the note. It means that the note should be held to its full length. Well, for those of you that have heard of the Morse code, the opposite of dots, which are short, are dashes, which are long. Okay, I'll go with that. Accent, on the other hand, is when you emphasize the single note. And the accented note is played louder than the surrounding notes. So yeah, accents have a pretty important role. So by changing the accent, you can change the meaning of the sentence and therefore of the music. Like, you should do your homework, or you should do your homework, or you should do your homework, or you should do your homework. You have heard probably a lot of those. Repeat markings are the way of saving time and space in writing and printing music. In other ways, the publishing companies, they don't really want to spend extra on ink and paper, and therefore they can put repeat signs. There are a couple of ways to repeat things, and we have talked about those, but the very simple repeats are shown with 2 dots, like you see in the red here. And then it goes the repeat. Okay, so I hope it's not the same song. Okay, good. So here are what the repeat marks look like. So as you see, anything that's enclosed into those double bar lines with the 2 dots in between them is supposed to be repeated. Okay, and so once you repeat it twice, you move on. Sometimes the ending differs. So you have a repeat, and the first way you say it one way, and then when you go back and you repeat it, in order to continue, you have to say it the second way. So what does that mean? So I'm playing this music and I'm going the first line, I'm playing the second line, I'm going on the third line, I'm getting to the first ending where the red notes are. So right when I get at the end of it, where the 2 dots are, my eyes quickly shift to where the other 2 dots are up on top on the first line, and that's where I continue. So I go again the first line, again the second line, again the third line, but this time I skip the first ending. I've seen many people play the first ending and the second ending together. No, once you play the first ending, you don't repeat it, you skip it and you go directly to the second ending. So from measure 7, at the end of measure 7, you skip 1 and you go directly to 2 and you continue the next line to 10. So that this is pretty much confirming what I just said. I just said it in the first slide, but here is an example of what it sounds like. As you see, we skipped the first ending and this time we went to the red notes on the second ending. Now, the capo means from the beginning. The capo literally means head. And you should know that sometimes we call a hat a baseball cap. That because it goes on your head, and the head is literally the beginning of you. So once you play the A section and you move to the B section, you see DC. This is not Washington, DC. This is da capo. Da capo means from the beginning until you see fine. So you go from the end of B to the beginning of A, and you play A once again, and when you see fine, that is where the piece ends. Fine means end. Fine. Fine. Da capo al coda means from the beginning, but when you see this little sign, the coda sign, oval and a cross, you go to coda instead. Okay? And we have also talked about the sign. Dal segno means from the sign. It looks like a letter S with slanted line and pair of dots. There it is, finally showed up. Okay, this is how it looks like. So when you go to the end and you see DS, that is not da capo, this is dal segno. Segno is the sign. Until you see fine. So you go from the sign, not from where it says 4-4, from the sign until it says fine. Or you can have dal segno al coda. So this might be a little bit more complicated. So we go and we play. First measure. Then we go second measure. Then we go third measure and we see DS al coda. So we don't go back to the beginning. That's the job of the capo. Dal segno means go to the sign. So we go to the beginning of the second measure. And so we play the second measure and boom, there is the sign for coda, which is the oval with the cross. So then we don't play the third measure, we go to coda. I hope you see what I'm saying. Those are important things, and I hope you enjoyed today's lesson. It's gonna be a short one. I hope you have good time at home.